Welcome back, fiends, to Descent into Horror Hell.
Welcome
Halloween episode.
Yeah! Happy Halloween, motherfucker!
We have a whole lot of fun for you, so stay tuned. Cheers.
Cheers! Yeah!
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 6, 6.
Welcome back, guys. We're going to have a little bit of fun, like we mentioned, we're going to give 30 films each. And I know it seems like a lot, but rest assured, we'll make sure it doesn't hurt too bad. But these are going to be horror films that,
Among our favorites.
Absolute favorites. We're going
I
to
thought
come
it'd be kind of cool, to make 30 movies, make a list of 30 movies, and not show each other our lists, so we kind of surprise each other. So it's kind of a surprise for us.
There will be doubles, I'm sure.
Yeah,
it's gonna happen. But let's get this started.
Absolutely, go first.
I'm gonna start with a little bit of Jeffrey Combs, Reanimator. It's a a black comedy. It's
gore, black comedy, H.P. Lovecraft style, man.
Stuart Gordon, he also did Bride of Reanimator, Beyond Reanimator, which were the other two that came from this, but definitely a film to check out. It's a lot of fun to watch.
Good, gory fun.
And that's why it's one of my favorites.
Of course, when Dr. Hill gets, the shovel, Herbert West the shovel, that was one of my favorite scenes, personally.
Right on.
1980, we have the great Joe Spinell in Maniac. Man, Joe Spinell is such a great actor, a character actor in general, but this film, I think, was one of his masterpieces.
Oh, yeah.
He's just a sleazy, dirty, nasty, hears voices, mother!
Mannequins.
Yeah, mannequins and just the brutal murders.
Tom Savini, of course, did.
Tom Savini even blows his head off in this movie at this point.
In the car.
Yeah.
The shotgun.
Just a great film, man. Joe Spinell, Maniac, check it out.
Alright, I'm going to do a 1975 Devil's Reign. John Travolta's on-screen debut, even though he's stuck behind a melted face.
Gotta start somewhere, I guess.
Of course, Anton LaVey, the high priest of the Satanic Church, actually makes a cameo in this film as the high priest. And I think that kind of makes this definitely one of those films that...
It's a cult.
Definitely cult. Of course, William Shatner's in this as well.
Ernest Borgnine, rest in peace.
But, the satanic, the possession, the everything, definitely one of those films if you're into those kind of movies.
I always remember the ending, when the devil's reign is unleashed and, everyone's melting. I mean, that was one of
Definitely one of my favorites.
They played it on TNT one time. I shit you not. It was like fucking crazy.
Yeah, that's Halloween for you, man. They get away with a lot more than usual.
1977, 76, 77, we have Rituals. It's kind of been known more as a Canadian version of Deliverance, but I think it offers a lot more. It's a great film. Hal Holbrook, amazing actor. Of course, we loved him in Creepshow and The Fog, and he's just as good in this one. Amazing film. Check it out.
Our first Fulci feature, House by the Cemetery. I love this movie, except for the damn kid.
Mommy! Bob. That's his
great name. Of course, Dr. Freudstein. This is creepy character. He's not real like a savage. I mean, he kills you, but it's very slowly. It's almost like he doesn't want to. You think the girl's gonna get away, and then it's like, nah, fuck you. But
great atmosphere.
Oh hell yeah, the house is creepy. The floor. I mean, when they find the cellar, especially when Bob is when he can't get out of the basement.
Yeah,
and he gets so close to him, and he actually grabs him. Oh, great movie.
When Anne loses her head, and she that's like one of the most brutal throat slits I've ever seen in a movie. I mean,
But then Bob's got to witness her head bouncing down the
Yeah.
stairs. Like, what the hell?
Fulci. Also, Fulci.
Classic.
From 1981, we have one of my personal favorite slashes of all time, The Great Burning. Burning is a great film. Tom Savini did the effects in this film. Tom Savini's all over this horror podcast, but he was
Go
the king
figure.
of splatter in the 80s. You know, he's totally top-notch effects director.
Oh, yeah.
And Cropsey was a great character. I thought, in my opinion, Cropsey could have been the next Jason, or on the lines of something like that. We should have made more burnings. Great film. The raft scene, of course, everyone talks about.
What are we doing here? Oh, yeah. The late, great Rowdy Piper and They Live.
Rest in peace.
Evidently, he ran out of bubblegum. Again. John Carpenter, of course, horror legend. Made a very political film. This really speaks to the nature of the 80s.
Reaganism.
Yep. And, definitely really cool. Meg Foster's actually in this film, too, which is, everybody knows her from,
It's got the black guy from The End of the Thing.
Yeah, so definitely a really cool film. It is kind of a fun film, but does take things very seriously. A lot of,
I love the obey signs everywhere and consume and
that.
like you said, very, very political for the 80s.
Oh, yeah.
John Carpenter made a film about Reaganism, and that was a great film.
Piss people off, but it's still one of the most recognized
Still
ones.
holds up too.
And it's not a WWF film.
1981, I had my personal favorite Lucio Fulci film of all time, The Great Beyond, with David Warbeck. Amazing performance. Trust me, I'm a doctor.
Like Bob the Plumber.
Joe the Plumber.
Joe the Plumber. You saying Bob. Yeah, Joe
But
the
still, man, this is a great film.
Oh, yeah.
Great gore effects. Jill loses her head. Oh, man, that's so great.
We've talked about it before.
So
and
great. Yeah, we talked many times about this film.
Can't say much more.
Yeah, check it out. Shit.
F.W. Marno's The Haunted Castle, 1921.
I personally
Wow.
never seen that film.
You're missing out, man. This goes along the line of, Hawks and Nosferatu.
I'll see it then.
I wouldn't say the Golem. I mean, the Golem is kind of a different entity in itself. But, The Last Laugh, Faust, other Morneau films. Good atmosphere, and actually great atmosphere. And a lot of these films had to rely on that because obviously they weren't speak films. So they had to rely on the atmosphere of them. This is a Kino release. I don't think anybody else has actually released this, but
Looks pretty cool.
great film.
Can't go wrong with those great silent classics.
Well, I have silent days where that's all I watch.
In 2000, we have the Great Battle Royale. Kids killing kids.
In a fun
Amazing
game.
film and a fun game, twisty game. Whoever survives, last one standing, basically.
They had a
Nice
re-release of that, didn't they? A couple years ago.
Yeah, this one. This is the one.
Is that the one?
Yeah, I wish I had the original one, but it's still initially the same
man.
film. But man, it's
Walmart version. 2.0.
yeah, shit. You weren't supposed to see that. Check out Battle Royale.
Good movie either way.
Yeah.
And we're going back to Tom Savini, but this time as a director. Finally getting the graces, with John Russo, of course, getting the graces of George Romero to do the remake. And I know we hounded on remakes, but this is definitely one of my favorites.
Better ones, for sure.
The opening scene is just...
Bill Moseley.
Yeah.
They're horny, Bob. They've been dead a long time.
Tony Todd's in this, obviously, again.
A great lead in that film.
And this was cool because this was it was a twisted ending. It wasn't the typical, did I think of the name here? From the original.
Downbeat? When Dwayne Jones gets shot?
I'm just thinking of the name. I forgot his fucking name.
No, Ben, Dwayne Jones.
When he stands up out of the house and the hunters come up and they shoot him, this is a little bit different.
Yeah.
Ben in this movie obviously standing on the stairs. He says, "Yeah, I'll get out of here," and he tries taking him and actually becomes one.
Yeah.
Which was really cool.
Cooper gets the bullet in the fucking head when Barber shoots him.
Yep.
As everyone's cheering because he's such a scumbag.
This is where the fat zombie comes in. We talk about falling off the stairs and creepy moments. So
Uncle Ridge, you crazy.
So definitely, I love that remake.
It's one of the better ones, in my opinion. From from 1981, we have Nightmare. A very, very brutal film. Tom Savini was a special effects supervisor on the film. He didn't technically do the effects, but he was supervise it, so you know you're going to do a lot of red shit. Amazing axe murder in this film. This kid just catches his parents doing the nookie. You know what I mean? Gets an axe and just chops the shit out of him, man. And I'm talking like heads rolling, just splatter on the walls. It's great. Really kind of creepy in places too. Excellent movie. Check out.
Alright, here we go. It. Pennywise, creepiest clown ever. I don't care. You can take your freak show or what, show and...
It's Clown House for me personally, but yeah.
Yeah, Clown House is up there. Or,
it definitely gets
Fun House.
Yeah.
That was more of a family-oriented one, but,
it's great.
John Ritter, of course. Rest in peace, too. I love this movie. It was just a good, creepy yet kind of fun film.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't over the top. It did its justice, I think.
It plays on a lot of nerves too. Childhood fears of strangers and clowns, and
especially at the dinner table when like all their fears come to life with the crabs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
blood-filled balloons. And just a great.
He was in the shower. H-O-G. Yeah. So. Love it. Tim Curry, horror, icon. So,
1982, Evil Dead, amazing
Groovy,
film.
Man.
Yep, absolutely. Bruce Campbell is just no Bruce Campbell. Can you say? Sam Raimi directed a great low budget. I can't believe the budget on this film, and it looks like it.
Hollywood, like high Hollywood type stuff.
It really revolutionized the way the horror films were perceived after this. The camera works, the camera shots, and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Really, really was a good film. I loved it. The second one's good too, but this is the one to check out.
Yeah.
Evil Dead.
Oh, what do we got here? I kick ass for the Lord. Dead Alive, Peter Jackson. 1991. I love this movie. I don't know.
What? No pudding?
I've never met anybody.
A custard. I haven't had a good custard in years. She never makes this stuff. Lionel! There's a beetle. You can quote this movie forever.
I haven't met anybody that really has not liked this movie, especially in the horror community.
Oh.
Peter Jackson knew how to make cheesy, good, gory films. And this is no exception.
Classic.
That cover, of course. It was always on the shelf, but hell yeah, I'm glad to be old enough to watch it.
A cover like that, it just says "Watch me, buy me," pretty much.
Definitely not what you'd expect, though. You'd think of some.
It's a good date movie.
Film.
Let your girlfriend watch that and see if she's still around after you're done watching it. If she is, then you got a good woman.
Other than that, she'll think you're weird and report you to the cops.
Pretty much. From 1963. The great Mario Bava, the king of atmosphere.
Yep.
Boris Karloff in Black Sabbath. Karloff plays an amazing role as the Warlock.
Good band.
Props to Killjoy. But the story of the Warlock is great. A vampire that can only suck the blood of ones that he loves. It's kind of a different take on the whole vampirism. Yeah. But the short that sticks out the most for me is one called The Drop of Water. It's an extremely, extremely atmospheric, creepy ghost story, and you just need to watch it. Watch it with the lights off. It's a great film.
Definitely better.
Bava, baby. Check them out.
All right. I've talked about this one kind of before. Maybe not to you guys, but I talk about it a lot. As D. Snyder's Strangeland, 1998. Man, you want to talk about just a fucked up movie. He makes Captain Howdy is the character who's a sadist, a sadomasochist. Wow. It's
when Carlton doesn't get his medicine, bad things happen. Like Robert Englund will do a lap dance.
Oh yeah. Robert Englund dances in his underwear. Oh yeah. But no, this movie was kind of that not Silence of the Lambs.
It's kind of precursor of things to come. Like movies get a lot more brutal. It was ahead of its time, I think. I think D. Snyder made a very, very great...
Definitely out of his,
film.
out of his element in a sense, not the Twisted Sister. Big hair.
He showed that he knows the genre.
But it is a very
well.
creepy film about online predators even. Kind of at the dawning of the age.
Ooh, scary.
The dawning of the age of computers. So,
Yeah.
it was definitely on the brink of greatness.
Absolutely. 1975, Elicardo, baby. If you like boobs, you like blood, you like mutilation, none action.
Satan.
Boobs, they say boobs, tits, titties,
Bosoms.
boobs with titties, blood with titties, You get the picture. This is a great film, good nunsploitation / vampire film.
Yep.
Absolutely. The devil's a creepy little guy. Did I say something to offend you? Great fucking film, man. Mondo Macabro release. Check it out. One of my favorites.
Yeah, home of weird shit. So check out Mondo Macabro easily. Alright. Toby Hooper. Texas Chainsaw Massacre, 1974. What can we talk about it again. We're not going to dwell on it, but, shit.
Toby Hooper, crazy motherfucker.
Gunnar Hansen, of course, everybody knows, Leatherface.
The cook, Jim Saito. Marilyn Burns. It's really sad that, most of this cast is not with us anymore, And, they did that big housecore horror film festival,
Texas,
panel with them. That was really cool.
And just for good times.
Franklin.
That's for you, buddy.
Sally! I want to hold the flashlight. Let me hold the flashlight. Great film.
We have too much fun on this show.
Yes. From 2010, I Saw the Devil. Amazing film. Just very brutal film. I'll be doing a future recent watch section for this, I'm sure. Check out.
Right on. We're going 1984, Nightmare on Elm Street. I've talked about this one before, again, because this is absolutely one of my favorite movies, slasher-wise. Definitely out of the 80s. Of course, we're not even going to talk about, the deaths and stuff, but definitely a film I'm sure most of you have seen.
Johnny Depp again.
A lot of you guys are fans, so can't go wrong. I love it.
I'm your boyfriend now, Nancy. 1984, we have Combat Shock. One of my personal favorite films of all time. A very important film, too. Our brave men and women over there fighting for our freedom come over. Some of them get this, shell shock.
PTSD is a big thing.
Yeah, very, very real, and this film portrays it very well. Very, very brutal. Just very... You feel like you gotta take a shower after this. You feel the smut of New York City when you watch this movie, In the
80s especially, I think it was,
Yeah, it was ahead of its time, and all you fans of Eraserhead will love the baby at the end.
David Lynch style.
Yeah, check it out.
Alright, guys. We did a couple of them. We'll come back. First, we're going to give you a little bit of gore, a little bit of killing. So, cheers. We'll be back.
Cheers.
Alright guys, welcome back to Descent into Horror Hell Podcast, part 2 of our film showing our favorite films of the Halloween season. So, I'm going with another Fulci Gem Zombie, 1979. Of course, we all know the infamous door splinter in the eye.
Wow.
This is where I think zombie films vary from the George Romero films, and they vary from the bullshit they have today.
No argument there.
Zombie Holocaust is another one around this type of film. Zombie 2, Zombie 3 they made.
Burial Ground.
Yeah.
Nightmare City.
It definitely spun off a lot of different ones. Fulci films are not definitely a classic. Of course, you've seen this in Skids' horror collection. Follows him everywhere because that's obviously.
Don't leave home without that poster, man. I have that at every house I've ever lived in my
12
life.
years.
Every door, every refrigerator. It's on my car. It's on my shirt. It's on my every man. I love it. Great film. The zombie versus the shark. God, how can you not
Great
mention that? You know?
cinematography. Oh, there's so
Captive
much.
fucking tiger shark.
There's so much stuff, but definitely a great one I love.
We are going to eat you.
2006, one of my personal favorite toe tag films, The Red Sin Tower. Amazing film, great acting, atmosphere. Jeremiah and Christy did an amazing job on the effects.
Yeah.
This film is totally top notch. I love it. One of my favorite toe tag pictures films.
Of course, that was Shelby Jackson back in the day. She wasn't quite
Yeah.
married yet.
Yeah, and you get to see Fred Vogel as a pimp. That's fucking great. He's
Right
smoking
here,
a
right
joint.
behind you, we strut the Red Sin Tower.
Oh, yeah, right there.
Poster, spreading the sickness one podcast at a time.
Check
Sorry
out
to
toe tag.
Sorry to steal your tagline, friend.
Check out toe tag.
Mask of Satan or Black Sunday. Barbara Steele, one of... Yeah, I think you can pretty much tell what he likes.
One of my favorites.
You know, Mario Bava, of course, again.
King of Atmosphere.
You know, this is one of them gothic classics that just sticks out. People know it from the, you know, the Barbara Steele scene where she gets awakened, got all the holes in her face, she got the big eyes. Everybody knows that. You know, evil. So, yes, these witchcraft movies. There are certain ones that are really good. There's other ones that are kind of iffy. This is definitely one of the better ones.
I like when Voltage comes back from the dead. He takes that mask off and he's just like, he's got cobwebs and shit hanging off. It's just the atmosphere in this film is just amazing.
Yeah.
Mario Bava is a master of his craft.
Oh, yeah.
Check out another film, you know, Kill Baby Kill, Blood and Black Lace. The guy is just a master. ...2006, I believe. Yeah. Chaos, extremely brutal film. Kind of a retelling, a modern telling of Last House on the Left in a way. Very, very scumbag characters. Kevin Gage, he's one of my favorites. Bad guys of nowadays. Like, he's just such an asshole in this film.
That makes for good movies, in my opinion.
Great fucking bad guy. Amazing film. Cliff, just an amazing, like, fucked up ending. Like, you gotta fucking see to believe. Amazing film. Check out Chaos.
One of my most talked about absolute favorite films, 1982, is Pieces. Of course, in my collection, you saw the big ass original movie poster. You don't have to go to Texas for a Chainsaw Massacre.
It's exactly what you think it is.
If that doesn't get asses in seats, I don't know what will. The ending to this is twisted. He tries to remake his wife, and you know the guy that always gets me is the janitor, the pool guy. He's always got this big beard. He's like, he smiles at everybody.
Yeah. Totally think he's the killer too. Like, first time I saw him, like, oh, it's obvious who the fucking killer is.
And not even.
And he
close.
just totally just threw you a left turn. And it's like, oh.
But the opening scene of this, you know, the kid killing his mom, you know, playing with the nude puzzle when he puts it back together. I mean, you have to see this movie. Definitely love it.
We always love Christopher George here at the Sentinel.
Oh yeah, Linda Day.
1990. Great Michael Rooker. Henry Portia, the serial killer. A very, very important film for later genre of horror. A good depiction of a serial killer. Obviously, the oddest tool, Henry Lee Lucas retelling. Tom Tolles does an amazing job as Otis in this film. The television scene now sticks out. Otis, plug it in. That's
great.
That's great.
Oh, yeah.
Amazing film, but one thing I will say is the home invasion scene was very influential to more extreme films like Scrapbook and August Underground, films like that. Really took a lot from that home invasion scene. It was very, very brutal to watch, very disturbing. Good film.
Helen. Tony Todd's Candyman. I love this movie. This was kind of one that,
Chicago.
you know, it was Clive
Cabrini
Barker.
Green.
You know, just Clive Barker just has such an imagination for comic books, for horror, and when you put that together with certain characters and certain, you know, it's like he can create a new villain. I mean, literally out of nowhere, and it's so cool. 1992. Of course, they came up with, I think, 4 or 5 other ones.
3.
Yeah, 3. Was it 3? You know, Candy's not 3. Don't say his name 3 times, by the way, in a mirror. I warned you.
I love the atmosphere in that movie too. The Cabrini Green. Every time I go to Chicago, it's
The
like
bathroom. Christ, even in the opening scene, all that shit wiped everywhere, and
Yeah.
beautiful.
sweets to the sweet. Yeah.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Good film. 1990, one of my personal favorite Clive Barker films, The Mighty Nightbreed.
Oh yeah.
Midian, the hidden city where the monsters live.
Back to back Clive Barker.
Yeah, wow, shit, that was not planned either. See, sick minds think alike. Clive Barker, you know, he's a master of horror. I love David Cronenberg in this film. He plays a very deranged doctor, and he just, yeah, man.
Oh yeah.
And of course, you can't go without mentioning Craig Schaefer, great performance, based on the novel Cabal by Clive Barker, but great film. Check out that.
Alright, we're going back to 1922. We're taking a little trip. Hawks and Witchcraft Through the Ages. Or as I like to call it, Witchcraft Through the Middle Ages, because more or less that's when it was. Criterion Collection put this out, obviously known for the Nosferatu, the Golem, the Haunted Castle. You know, they knew how to put out good films, and this is kind of where you were able to get a lot of these films, because a lot of these are, you know, were always lost or destroyed in some aspects. So, you know, this is one of those what I call horror metal films. Bands like Necrophagia, bands like Mortician, Ravenous, yeah, they, you know, they like to utilize this film.
Good atmosphere.
Benjamin Christensen.
He actually plays the devil in the movie too. Yeah, the nun's like jerking off with a broom or something.
Yeah, it's in the show, and I think the cool part about this, and what I always thought was intriguing, was showing the old torture devices, the thumb clamps, and you know, the leg braces and stuff. So that was really cool. It's all still imagery mixed with film. Very, very good film.
Take it in many parts, but of course the Benjamin Christensen Devil St. Allen sticks out for me.
Yeah, you'll see that image in a lot of things, magazines.
It's actually on the Mayhem Chimera cover too.
Yep.
I think of it.
Yep.
2008, one of my personal favorite French horror films, Inside.
Oh yeah.
This film needs to be seen to believe. Basically, this crazy woman wants to cut this fucking baby out of this chick with the scissors, and she kills everyone that comes to, you know, visit. Basically, there's a lot more to it though, but it's a great film, great gore, great story, creepy in a lot of parts too. I mean, it's one of those films that mixes both brutality, gore, and suspense, and to me, that's what makes a great horror film. It's a good story.
Oh, Rutger Hauer in Hobo with a Shotgun, 2011, I believe. Classic one-liners, double-barreled mayhem, as they call it. You know, serving justice one shell at a time. It's a good kind of. It's a sad story.
All I wanted was a lawnmower.
Yeah, to start his own business, hobo exploitation, I guess if you want to call it that. Revenge film, definitely. You know, they almost left it open for a sequel until he got killed at the end. And I'm not spoiling it.
You just did.
I don't give a shit. People still like it. They got the cool, the Brood.
Yeah. It's a great film.
The techno type style, but
it's one of those movies you put on if you don't know what else to watch. Like, you know, we'll be hanging out and be like, dude, we don't want to watch. I don't fucking know. How about Hobo with the Shotgun? Alright, fucking put over the shotgun.
You know, just when they get the Brood or whatever, they go inside the hospital and all these innocent doctors walk in. They just take these, like, nooses hung on or strapped to like these, what do you call them? Like harpoons. They shoot them into the ceiling, wrap it around their neck, and as they shoot it into the ceiling, they get hung at the same time. So much ingenious blood and gore in this. Oh, fucking love it.
Hobo with the Shotgun's great film. Jim Van Beber, you are a crazy motherfucker, and I love you. You made one of the best Manson movies ever made, in my opinion. You feel every stab. You see every boob. You hear every curse word. There's no pullback in this film, and it makes it real. Amazing exploitation at its finest.
Oh, yeah.
Dirty, grim, brutal, no apology bullshit.
Yeah.
Fuck Hollywood. This is the real fucking movies.
And it's one of the films that talks about the family, not just about Charlie.
Absolutely.
So many ones are so based on that. I mean,
It talks about Sadie, Tex, Leslie. It talks about the Manson family, Charlie's family.
I think what probably comes close is Helter Skelter.
Absolutely.
I think that's probably closest, but that dealt more with the trial and things like that. But I think definitely, as far as a family film goes, and just the cult, talk about cult films. That's
amazing.
The
Jim
cult
Van Bever.
film.
Check out Charlie's Family, guys.
All right, I got another Fulci favorite, one of my favorites of all time, top 3, City of the Living Dead. It's got everything, man. I mean, you got vomiting up insides to bleeding eyes to satanic dead priests, maggots.
Maggots flying at you that are actually real maggots, too.
You know,
The actors didn't even know that they were going to be real maggots, too. That's
well,
what
yeah,
gets me. It's like, yeah, it's like, it just, he pushed, you know, he just started recording and he had all these live maggots flying the actors.
And I think what's real, I think if you watch Fulci's A Cat in the Brain, watch that movie because you see the inside of a sick, twisted man. You know, you really see how he gets his inspiration for movies like this.
Fulci lives.
Fucking A.
1979, we have the classic Sergio Deodato's infamous Cannibal Holocaust, the king of the cannibal movies, in my opinion. I'm sure in a lot of people's opinions too. This is the real McCoy.
Yep.
Animal slaughter, which of course I'm kind of not a fan of. I don't mind if people die in movies, it's fine. But when animals die, it kind of gets me.
Real ones too. That was real shit.
Yeah,
wasn't something
it was
that,
real. The tortoise really, and the monkey. The monkey got his brains fucking.
Yeah.
Brutal to watch, but a great. I'm not gonna say it's for everyone. It's kind of like drinking scotch. It's like a matter of taste. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's not for everybody. I mean,
it's, you know,
it's not your Kitsch's can or shit you're gonna find at fucking Walmart.
But that's where you get the Cannibal Ferox.
This is
where you
real
get,
shit.
Of course, relating to recent news, The Green Inferno, Eli Roth. That definitely where that.
And if
came
anyone
from.
thinks that the Blair Witch Project was original, this is where I got the idea.
For first-person films, yeah.
First person.
I agree.
Cannibal Holocaust. Check it out.
I'm not talking too much about this one. Nothing needs to be said. It shows up in every one of our damn podcasts at some point.
Keeps swimming our way all the time, of course.
You know, if you talk about it as a horror film, a sci-fi film, a love story, a Disney film.
Son of a bitch!
Jesus H. Christ, Chief.
Damn it, Martin! This is compressed air!
I'm not saying much more because we'll quote the shit out of that, like we always do.
Absolutely. We'll probably do like a podcast just on Jaws, and we'll just like do the fucking movie for you guys.
Hey, they made a whole horror hound about it, so why couldn't we do a podcast?
From 1979, a lot of 79 movies in here. The
yeah.
great George C. Scott.
Oof.
Yeah, The Changeling.
Ghost story of the century.
This is a great, creepy film. The atmosphere, you know, obviously the wheelchair. But the one that got me, of course, is a little boy coming up from the, you know, the ground. And it's just such a creepy, iconic moment. Melvin Douglas is great in this film at all. He's fucking great in this movie also. And he's also in The Old Dark House, which is another classic cult film. But man, The Changeling, George C. Scott.
Shit, yeah.
You really sympathize with this character. I mean, here's a guy that lost his whole family. You know,
nice
tragic
house.
accident, and he's being haunted. You know, and he tries to do the best he can, and you just really feel for George C. Scott's character. Amazing acting in this film. I love it.
The big house fire at the end was cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
Alright, this just happened to come up. 1922 German Expressionism. We talked about it before.
At its finest, baby.
We talked about Nosferatu before.
Back Shrek.
Wow. Just
Wolfgang Hunt. Amazing.
great. I don't even know what. It's the original Dracula. Well, original in the film sense.
It was made against Bram Stoker's widow's
wishes because he wanted the rights to it. She said no, so he's like, well, fuck you. I'm gonna come up with my own vampire, which is creepy as shit.
Back in the 20s, copyright really wasn't,
they didn't deal with it.
Really wasn't a big thing like it is today, so you get away with a lot of shit.
But it was just a personal choice that, Bram Stoker's widow didn't want, him to make it, but he still did, and
I'm glad he did, because it's like one of my personal favorites as well. The shadows and the silhouettes, the German expression was, it's just Nosferatu, and even, Hexon. Those are just films that just scream atmosphere, and I just love the atmosphere aspect.
That's that German, the German feel. And I said, with silent films, you have to have, because they're quiet and there's no speaking in them, you have to have the atmosphere.
Yep.
Otherwise, you're going to get, these films wouldn't have the same appeal that they do. So,
great film. From 1980? Oh boy, I think we saw this already, motherfucker.
Told you it was going to happen.
Well, we love Lucio Fulci here at the 74 Hell, of course. Yeah, man, we talked about this already. See the Living Dead, 1980, aka Gates of Hell. Chaz Ballin, one of his favorite films, I believe. One of mine too. Ending makes no sense whatsoever.
No.
But I love the catacombs, when they're...
The skeletons are realistic looking. Oh, yeah.
And of course, the upchuck and the maggots and the priests and the hangings and...
The good stuff.
Good film.
Alright guys, we're going to take another little short break here. We're going to come back and we're going to finish this off strong, so bear with us. We know it's a long list, but we're sure not to disappoint in these last couple.
Hope you guys are having fun, man. Check us out later.
We're in the home stretch here of our Halloween episode. We're going to finish this off here with our 30 greatest films and probably some of yours. Lost Boys. A love story of vampires. Real classic.
Before vampires sparkled.
Or suck dick. Not blood. I think we've used that before.
It works. Man.
This never gets old. This is one of those classic films again that in 1987 when it came out, it was different. This was before Bram Stoker's Dracula. This was before Interview with a Vampire.
It was that film in Near Dark that really changed.
Yeah, it was like the teenage version of.
Cannot forget Near Dark though as well. But yeah, The Lost Boys is a great film. Kiefer Sutherland, amazing performance.
Right on. It's kind of a love story.
The two Corys are in it too.
Yep. Definitely a favorite. So
one thing living in Santa Carla. Oh, the damn vampires. Grandpa with his root beer.
Right on.
Guy rules, man. I love that guy. I don't even know who the hell played him, but whoever did, he ruled.
Sleep all day, party all night.
Oh boy, 1980. Stanley Kubrick's great atmospheric The Shining.
Oh yeah.
I think this is in many people's lists, but it's got to be in mine because this movie kind of started it all for me. It's one of the first horror films my mom ever allowed me to see, so it really brings back a lot of memories. Of course, come play with us, Danny. That always sticks out. I can't ever go to a fucking hotel without seeing like two chopped up girls in the. It's pretty creepy, but of course, Jack Nicholson, I mean, his performance, just descent into madness, is just unparalleled.
It's so believable too.
Yeah, it is. That part where he's like looking at the cube or whatever.
Oh, I always say when he's walking up the stairs with the bat.
Yeah, there's so many iconic moments in The Shining.
Oh, love it.
Yeah, amazing film.
I'm going with just something a little recent here, 2015. Shane Beasley. Wow. Headless. What a mind fuck. Literally.
Head fuck.
You know, this film's got everything. It's a new age slasher film, kind of thrown back to the 80s style, but not even campy. I mean, this is like brutal Friday the 13th type kills. You get a really believable character, something that you know, he tries to. It's like he's showing his son, and his son's kind of creepy too with that damn skeleton mask. And
absolutely.
You know, definitely not one of those movies you want to get a cut version if they even made one.
I don't think they made one.
I wouldn't be surprised, but
great gore. I mean, the horse. You choose the eyeballs.
Of course, Dave Parker's in this.
Yep,
it's
Mr.
naked
Parker
in that
Dave.
one. Kudos for that.
Hope it's still there, Dave.
But if that's the future of horror, man, we're in a promising land.
Absolutely. I'm gonna go back a little bit. Holy shit. The 1975, a little movie, Peter Fonda, Warren Oates, Race with the Devil. Because when you race with the devil, you better be faster than hell, right? Absolutely. Great film. I never watched a movie ever where you actually felt like you were a part of the film. Like you were actually one of the characters in the film. Because they're driving this huge-ass Winnebago, and the Satanists are chasing them, and you just feel like you're actually in the front seat of this Winnebago. And of course, you know, the fucking infamous snake scene. Oh my god, the rattlesnakes in the camper still gets me every time, no matter how many times I've seen it. I respect snakes, I just don't want to find one, you know, by me, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. You know, when I open up a cupboard to get coffee or something, I don't want a fucking rattlesnake fucking flying in my fucking face, you know what I mean? That's what you get in this film.
I see a practical joke coming here.
Oh shit, here we go. But Race with the Devil is fuck you. Race with the Devil is a great film, man. Check it out. One of my favorite cult classics. You'll see it.
All right, here we go. Night of the Creeps. Thrill me.
True.
Tom
Atkins.
Plays a cop.
Again,
and it's a good date movie. I mean, in all the senses. It is definitely, it's an experimental, you know, that goes wrong type shit, and you know, people dating zombies and
a little bit of everything. You got zombies, you got aliens. I mean, that movie.
Charles Gordon.
Yeah, you got everything.
You know.
Of course, Tom Atkins, like one-liners are just the greatest.
That's kind of why we
sarcastic cop. He just doesn't give a shit. You know, thrill me. I still answer the phone. Like when he fucking calls me, sometimes I just answer thrill me.
He does.
And he laughs because he knows what it's from.
Dumbass.
1985 again. We have Thriller, A Cruel Picture. Very, very brutal film. A rape revenge type film. Has a little bit more going on for it than just a typical rape revenge. This chick just gets fucking fed up with everybody. You know, she gets her eye cut out by the, you know, the boss that's feeding her heroin basically, and she just goes on a rampage, kills all his henchmen, and eventually comes after him. And let's just say the ending involves a horse, a rope, and a really bad knee. Great film, man. Check it out.
Jazz and Mike, you want to watch that. Alright, back on, you know, vampires. Dracula. 1931. Bela Lugosi, of course, one of the original three. True three, in my opinion. Frankenstein, Dracula, and The Mummy. Of course, the cinematography of this. This was one of the first Speak films, horror-wise.
Yep.
And they did a great job on it. I mean, it's kind of cool when you stand on top of the stairs, you still get that kind of crackling audio. And it's so, they kept it, and it's so awesome.
Karl Freund, the cinematographer, too, like, you could see, like, a German expressionism coming into...
Especially, I mean, the effects, too, is when he walks through the cobwebs and they don't go anywhere, and then Redfield walks right behind them and goes into them.
Spider spreading his red for the willoughby fly. Of course... Yeah, of course, The great Dwight Fry as Renfield.
You guys know Dracula.
Great film.
One of my absolute favorites.
What a film that gets you into Halloween.
Yeah.
Oh boy, here we go.
This is the same damn case, too. See this asshole?
It's on. How can you not have Tobe Hooper's classic Texas Chainsaw Massacre?
You can.
I mean,
really,
this film just a cannibal classic. You know, it just ahead of its time. Very politically wrong. You know,
Yeah.
America going to shit basically in the 70s, and you could totally see it in this film. What's actually really sad though is Jim Saito, the cook, Marilyn Burns, and the guy that played Franklin, Paul Bartel, I believe.
They're all dead.
They're all dead. It's really sad.
But you gotta think, I mean,
But
for being 74, they're probably in
this
their
is
20s.
Yeah, this is a great film. Excellent.
30s. Christ, it can't be in their 20s, it'd only be 60s.
Great
Anyways.
film.
Oh, Christ, they're so damn far away. Oh. Day of the Dead. George A. Romero. He had to make this countdown. Tom Savini. Haven't talked about him since like the first section, but
Choke on him!
that damn ass fucking cop that everybody wanted dead because he was such an asshole. And the whole movie you're going, really, if you're thinking about just doing it this way, you'd survive, but nope.
Yeah, Captain
the-
Rhodes.
he's the
Captain
hardest.
Rhodes meets a demise that
Anybody
one of Tom
would.
Savini's best work.
Of course, the remake of this took place in Milwaukee, Wisconsin,
That was Dawn of the Dead.
or Dawn of the Dead. But still,
Great film.
can't go wrong.
Steele is one of my favorite characters in that movie too. He's such a fucking asshole. Come on, you fucking wet bags of shit! I'll kick the shit out of you. And he's like, "Come on, you dead fucks!" Dumb fucks. It's awesome.
I love it.
Great film. Oh boy. 1973. We have the
Oh,
one,
yeah.
the only Exorcist. One of my childhood favorites. Never gets old. William Friedkin, amazing, directed amazing film. The guy's a fucking asshole, I guess, to work with. Apparently, he shot guns off on set and stuff. Hear a bunch of horror
Keep it
stories
one
about
line.
this fucking guy. Yeah, but he made a very great film, atmospheric, excellent story, of course, by
Creepy.
William Peter Bradley. The original
The book is
book is just as
holy
good.
shit, and that's one of the few adaptions
Based
I've
on a
ever
true
seen.
story
yeah.
too, pretty much on account of a true story.
And that's one of the few adaptions that I've ever seen from book to movie that actually was pretty damn close, or as scary. I mean, obviously with books and movies they always change them, but
Just amazing film. One-liners, of course, kind of like Jaws, where you could just like
Linda
talk them
Blair.
all.
Your mother sucks cocks in hell!
Great film. Damie, why do you do this to me, Damie?
There it is.
Oh boy.
An evil and oldest man.
Mr. Barlow.
Yeah, we've had, like I said, we had a scene about him before in the kitchen. James Mason, of course.
Reggie Naller was an actual burn victim too.
This was Stephen. This is our first Stephen King entry, I believe.
I think so, yeah.
And it's
I had The Shining.
oh, The Shining, yeah. But he didn't like that movie, so.
Yeah, which I don't understand, but whatever.
But it's movies like this though that really made vampires again. This was that it took the idea of I think Nosferatu and just kind of melded it out a little bit and made just creepy ass New England town. Just
Yeah, the Marston House. It's just one of the greatest backdrops with the full moon in the
Not here,
background.
master.
Yeah, and one thing I'll say about Salem's Lot personally is the character of Mark reminds me a lot of myself when I was his age. Monster posters everywhere.
Curiosity. Yeah.
And his
definitely.
parents are like, "Are you ever gonna outgrow that stuff?" And look at me now,
We're doing this shit.
That's
Sorry, Mom.
Sorry. Great film. This is a film that nobody talks about that they should, and it's one of the creepiest fucking movies ever made, in my opinion. 1971, Let's Scare Jessica to Death. It was originally a TV-made movie, I believe, but it's a descent into madness, basically. Jessica doesn't know between. She's disturbed. She just got out of a mental institution, and she's free now, but she's not all there yet. But the things that are happening might not be in her mind. They might be real, and it's a psychological, creepy. The scene in the water alone is just unbelievably atmospheric. Heebie-jeebie shit, man. Check it out. Let's scare Jessica to death.
I'm not talking about this one because we already did. Stanley Kubrick, of course. We just got him talking about this. Cheers.
What are we, like, four now, or 2?
It's like 3 or 4, yeah.
Alright, cool.
We told you it was going to happen. Look cool like that.
Oh my goodness. From 1960, the first Christopher Lee movie in this fucking collection.
About damn time. Rest in peace, buddy.
Yes.
Sir?
City of the Dead, aka Horror Hotel. I talked about this in our tribute to Christopher Lee a couple episodes back.
Mm-hmm.
But this is truly one of my favorite films of all time. It was a very hard decision between Mask of Satan or City of the Dead. I obviously love Mask of Satan because of Barbara Steele, obviously. But City of the Dead, just the atmosphere in this film, it's just unmatched. And the shadowy figures in this film, this film is a film of shadows, you know. You just never know what's real and what's not.
Mm-hmm.
It's very ghostly, you know, the atmospheric fog, kind of like Mario Bava did.
Yeah.
Very, very awesome film. Christopher Lee, you never know if he's a good guy or a bad guy, and you gotta watch the film all the way through to find out.
Yeah.
And it's just one of my personal favorite films. Dead.
We're bringing Tom Atkins back to the forefront here with Halloween 3. Probably one of the movies, the Halloween series, that a lot of people I know that I've talked to and I've seen don't like it. And you know what?
You're missing out.
I'm sure they've seen it. I just, you know, it doesn't feature Michael Myers.
You gotta give it a chance.
It's a totally different twist about the factory that creates the masks, just the Silver Shamrock. And, you know, he goes on this hunt to try to find out, you know, like they're taking over and, you know, mind control. And it's a different film. And, you know,
the snake scene in the pumpkin coming out of the snake, or the
snake coming
out of the pumpkin. Yeah, that's creepy.
You know, of course, everybody knows the song, which, you know, is a Halloween favorite. This is definitely one that gets me into Halloween because of the song.
Yeah,
happy Halloween, Halloween, Halloween.
Very fun.
Really gotta stop doing this. You guys see it?
I always do this, man. It was a good film.
open.
If it was a good film, if it was a bad film, I'd be like,
Or remakes.
oh yeah,
We've
totally.
been there before.
We probably have one of the most important horror films ever made, I think, in my opinion. You would not have Walking Dead. You would not have anything if it wasn't for this
With
film.
the dead.
With the dead eating human flesh, because this was the first of its kind. George Romero is the master for this, and this alone, 1978, Night of the Living Dead. This is the best version of this film to get, I think. You know, it's got awesome documentaries.
It is like we said. It's
It's just a classic, every sense of the word. Kyra, one of my personal favorite scenes. You know, in the basement, Kyra takes the trough to the
to her mom.
mother. Just so iconic.
But it's
Dwayne Jones, amazing actor. Just all alone, you know, Bill Heinzman is the cemetery zombie also.
First one where you know everybody, the infamous one, everybody knows.
Yeah. Just the locations alone of this film really make it a classic, in my opinion.
Oh,
you know, the
classic,
farmhouse, the barn. You know, the
except for Barbara's really annoying. She just sits.
Yeah,
there.
she's hysterical through most of the movie,
Yeah.
which I like the remake more.
Oh, she was a badass in the remake.
Yeah, she's a badass in the remake.
She started taking matters into her own hands.
Yeah, and we talked about a remake, but I have the original, and this is one of my personal favorite films of all time. Check it out. George A. Romero.
Blood-sucking freaks, trauma greatness. We have not talked about a trauma film yet.
Talk about a movie you want to take a shower after. Shit.
You know, Lloyd Kaufman doesn't really like this movie.
He distanced himself from
it. But I don't see why. I think it's a cult classic.
Definitely cult.
You know, it's just so screwed up, but it's so awesome.
Dirt. Fucking darts. What did he use?
Darts in their ass.
Darts in the asshole. Yeah.
A little black midget. Sorry, small person.
That film is out there, man.
I love it.
Oh, we're getting down to nitty gritty.
We got one more, two more?
I have two more, you have one more.
Alright. Here it is, folks.
1963, The Great Coffin Joe.
Oh, yes.
At Midnight I'll Take Your Soul. I love Coffin Joe in general. Every film he did was great.
Yep.
But this one is one of my personal favorites. Really was ahead of its time. We're talking 63.
Very drug influenced.
It was
not this
it was
one.
very. That was Awakening of the Beast.
Yeah, but not
this
one. But
this one has a lot of violence and very, very kind of satanic quality to it.
Oh yeah.
And when he gouges the doctor's eyes out, that always sticks out. And
This vamp fingernails that everybody.
yeah, and of course Coffin Joe. He's got the huge fingernails.
Which at the end of our intro video, there he is.
Yeah, and then just amazing atmosphere. Brazil. One of the few Brazilian horror films I've ever seen. I know there's others I'm probably missing, but this one really sticks out. Coffin Joe films are the shit, man. Check them out.
Alright. Here she is, Jorg's Necromantic 2 with Return of the Living Dead. Man, if you thought the first one was bad from 1987, try 1991.
Damn, son.
Man, you're in for a treat. Usually some of the sequels to films tend to shy back a little bit. This one it blows it away. Taking nothing away, of course, from the first one, but Jesus H. Christ.
Another movie I want to watch after taking a shower.
A woman who has sex with a corpse, but has sex with a guy, cuts his head off while he's bleeding, continues to have sex with him and gets an orgasm from it.
Slimy bodies.
I mean, this is exactly what you would expect it to be. Doesn't disappoint at all. Of course, this is, part of the Corpse Fucking Art documentary that you can see a lot where this is coming in. Cult Epics put this out. They also put out the first one in Der Todesking.
We love your...
So definitely, check out, Cult Epics is a good way to get a hold of them without having to get, download them and all that other shit.
Or paying an arm and a leg for the Barrow Entertainment.
If you're
you
a
can
real
find
collector,
them, you're lucky, man, but those are fucking hard and shit to find, and they're really expensive.
Oh, hell yeah. But definitely pick up the Cult Epic ones. They run you about $20.
Your Buckreich is an amazing director.
Cheers.
Art director. The last film I have is a newer film. In my opinion, this is one of the greatest modern horror films I've ever fucking seen. Hands down, in my opinion. This is opinionated, of course. But it is The Great Found. I talked about this in the last episode of Set in the Horror Hell. I cannot get enough of this film. I love it. I love the story. I love the fact that it's a story between two brothers. One that's a serial killer and the other one that's getting bullied.
Yep.
And they put two and two together, and Marty doesn't know whether to do the right thing, turn his brother in, or just kind of go along with it, because, he ends up killing the fucking black kid, the fat black kid that tries to look at his dick or whatever, in the bathroom. It's a good movie about bullying.
And a way to achieve.
It's a good movie about bullying. It's a good movie about killing people. It's a good movie, just a treat to horror fans, and I absolutely love this film, and I cannot recommend it enough. You're probably sick to death of me talking to this film. I talk about it a lot, even in my Facebook page. But I love Found. Check it out.
Right on. Well, there you guys have it.
There you go, guys. Hope you enjoyed
films.
it. It was a little long, but we had a lot of fun. Hope you guys did too. Our lists always change, of course. I mean, to give you 30 movies of all time. I mean, there are so many movies I left out. I left up,
Black
Kill
Christmas,
Baby Kill, Black Christmas. I mean, even Halloween, like
Demons,
Trick or Treat. I mean, there's so many movies that I left out that were great. But that's kind of the gist of it, and we hope you enjoyed it.
And
Happy
if you guys,
Halloween,
if you guys wanna, give your input when we post this, definitely give us some of your favorites, man. I mean, I'd love to hear about it. I'm not gonna write it on there, but if you made it this far, write a movie, and then we'll know that you watched it this far. Cheers.
Feel
Happy
free,
Halloween,
guys. Hail. What's going on, horror fans? As always, happy Halloween to you guys. It was a very, very special for us to do and get together and do this. You know, we love doing this, and we hope you guys enjoyed the show. Hope you kind of got in the Halloween spirit, so to speak. So, man, as always, we really support all you guys, and thank you for supporting us. We really appreciate it, man. Horns up, we love you. I am Skidgore.
I'm Ghoul.
And this was the Halloween episode of Descent into Horror Hell! Trick or treat, motherfucker, and all these